Greetings. My name is Dr. Waddell Brooks Sr., your host, and this is Community Forum. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an outstanding guest with us this afternoon, Mrs. Robin M. O'Connor. She's a Lake County clerk, and she's going to tell us all about herself and also about the mission of the Lake County Clerk's Office. Good afternoon, Robin.
Good afternoon, sir. It's a pleasure always to be with you.
We're very happy that you're taking time from your busy schedule to be with us, to let Lake County know who you are. By the way, I'm going to start off by having you tell our listening audience a little bit about your personal and professional background.
Oh, okay. I've been a teacher. I was a teacher. I consider myself still a teacher
Okay.
and a school administrator for many, many years. And I was the Libertyville Township trustee in Lake County for about 12 years. And then I've been the Lake County clerk now for about a year and a half. And I've learned quite a bit in the last year and a half.
Well, tell us about the mission of the Lake County Clerk's Office.
Well, the Lake County Clerk's Office, many people do not know that we do more than elections. We also do vitals, which is where people get merit certificates, which has been a very hot item in the last few months, especially during the pandemic. And we also do tax redemption, which is a part of the tax process for those individuals that may be late in some of their tax payments. Eventually, their tax parcels come to us and we help them and take care of them. So we have quite a busy office, and this time right now, I would say that the election is our main focus because we are definitely doing business a little bit different than we have in the past. According to the governor's orders, there have been changes, exciting changes for our office, but we are moving forward providing our voters the three ways to vote for the November 2020 election.
Well, tell us about the three options to vote and how they have changed for the November election.
All right. So we have three options, and these options haven't changed. We've had these three options before, but they are the manner and some of the hours and some of the things that we are doing with them have been altered. So we always have the day of the voting day. You can come November 3rd to go ahead and vote. Many people are worried that that's not going to happen, but we are dedicated to do this. We had 8 changes out of our 121 sites. So just think about that. Most of our polling places are very dedicated and have said, even in these rough times, that they want to still continue to be a polling site on November 3rd. What we are doing right now is we are ensuring the safety and the security at those particular polling sites. We have PPE equipment and we are abiding by health rulings. And so pretty much when you walk into a polling site, you're going to see our judges behind what we call sneeze guards. And they will be having, gloves, and we have plastic shields, and we encourage our voters to bring their own pens. So there's all the systematic steps that we are ensuring so that if you decide to vote on the day of the election, you are welcome and you will be served in the most secure and safe way that we can provide.
Well, what options do we have for voting by mail?
Yes, voting by mail has been the newest, I guess, talked about initiative, especially throughout the news. We've always had voting by mail here in Lake County, but we have really tripled the amount of vote by mail ballots that we have already and will be basically mailing out on Thursday, September 24th. Our vote by mail program has always been offered. The last election we had about in the last big election in 2018, we had about 34,000 vote by mail application ballots received. And we sent off to the printer yesterday 126,000. So I want you to think about that number. That's how many applications we received and sent off to the printer to prepare the ballot and to prepare the mailing that we are going to be sending those individual ballots. Now, mind you, if it wasn't in our sent to our printer, we still have the information that we are sending people directly from our office. We received about 50, 50 more vote by mail ballot requests in the last couple of days, and they are also going to be mailed on Thursday. That doesn't mean that you can't request a vote by mail ballot. We are still doing that all the way to the very end of October. But just so people know, it has really tripled. So we are expecting this election at least 100,000 vote by mail ballots. So in that process, we have decided that we are going to offer choices even for those vote by mail ballots to return. So I'm sure many of you have heard about it in the news. We will have drop-off boxes. And our drop-off boxes are going to be both external and internal. The external ones, we had very strict requirements that we wanted them to be very safe and secure. So they needed to be lit 24/7. We needed them to be bolted down. And most important, we also wanted a camera on them. So we have cameras on these external boxes as well. The four boxes will be, and I've heard that two of them have already been secure. We have two more that we're going to place in so that if you decide to by mail, vote by the vote by mail ballots and want to drop them off, you will be able to do that. We will have them at our four branch courts in Lake County, which is in Vernon Hills, in Mundelein, in Round Lake Beach, and also in Park City. But we said, wait a minute, we need to offer more to our voters. We need to have another option. So we have decided to have internal vote by mail drop off boxes. And those boxes are going to be inside every one of our early voting sites, which means we have 17 sites. We added a new one this year. We added what we call another universal site, meaning that anyone can go to this site. And everyone can go to all the early voting sites, but this is structured a little bit differently than the others. It's structured very similar to our county office site, and that is, drum roll, Lake County Fairgrounds. We love that site because it's fast. We're going to be putting our voting in their great hall, and it is also in the middle of our county. So we thought this was a good option for all of us. So we'll have 17 early voting sites, and anyone can walk into an early voting site and place their vote by mail ballot in the internal box. The reason we placed it there is because there are judges there who are watching them. The only difference really between the internal and the external is simply the internal will be aligned to the early voting sites days and hours opening, which in the past there would be different days and different times. And we said no more. All of our early voting sites are going to operate with the same days and same hours. There won't be one site that's closed at 2 o'clock on a Sunday and another one that's closed at 5. They all will be closed at 5. We wanted to have consistency for our voters. So wow, what a lot of options our voters have.
So we don't have to mail them in then, right?
No, but if you do mail them in, a lot of people are very afraid of the mail. And I say, well, think of it this way. You're going to receive the ballot through the mail. So if you think about that, sending it back is basically a similar process as getting it. Now, we do recommend that if you choose the mail route, that you go a little bit early, but we will accept your vote by mail ballot through the mail as long as it is postmarked by November 3rd. The external vote by mail boxes, and this is something that I keep repeating to people, that it will be locked up at 7 o'clock on November 3rd. When the election sites close on November 3rd at 7 o'clock, the vote by mail external boxes will be closed at 7 o'clock as well. So they have the same hours as our voting sites.
So you're keeping us safe, both the voters and the judges, right?
Yes, we are. Our voters are, we're following the safe distance, and we will have masks for those who forget them. I mean, we are really trying to keep a very safe and secure election. We are dedicated to that.
Okay, what are some of the challenges for this election?
I would say the biggest challenge is the way the media is bringing up issues that are myths that don't happen. Here's an example. So we have, you can see envelopes, and one of the myths was that there was this information on the bottom, and people were saying, "Oh, that's telling us what party we are and things like that." I go, "No, this information is there to help the post office get that letter to us quickly. So it's a postal code. And if you look at a lot of your bills and a lot of things, you'll see similar postal codes. Those are there because the post office then can scan that and that will direct it immediately to us. So there's another myth. The myth is a lot of people are getting a lot of applications from political organizations. And we would have people calling us and saying, "Robin, I received two applications. What happens if I mail the other one in?" I'm like, "No, we have a very, very sophisticated system. And our system lets us know that you've already received or you are going to get a ballot. You can't send in multiple applications and receive multiple ballots. That won't happen."
Ms.
So
O'Connor, I'm asking a few of the questions that I feel the citizens would ask, but how can they easily find out answers to other questions and concerns?
yes. Okay, here's the cool thing about our office. We have a phone number, a very special phone number. It's 847-377-VOTE, VOTE. Use it. Call us during business hours. Ask us questions. Tell us your concerns. I talked to somebody the other day and I helped them all the way through the process of going to our website and finding the information. Now, you can also track your application and your ballot. You just need to go to lakevoterpower.info. And even if you go to the county site and the Lake County Clerk site, it will have it there. It'll say, "Do you want to know about your application or ballot?" And then you hit that site with your cursor and it will take you to that information site. You put in some information and voila, you will get all sorts of good news about you. So use that site. It is there for our voters to use. It's a great, great site.
Well, one of the largest sections in your office is the voter election department.
Yes.
Tell us about the election judges and voter registrars, among other things that you have.
Well, our election judges, we have a current process. We've received a lot of individuals who want to be an election judge. And
Mm-hmm.
this year we have changed our training format. We have training our judges through Zoom for the first half. And the second half is an in-person learning because we feel that our judges still need to touch and feel and work on our election equipment. So we're very fortunate because we're even having our election judge training classes at the Lake County Fairgrounds, which has given us a huge room that we can train 50 judges at a time and they're safely spaced apart. So we're crossing our fingers, we'll have enough judges. We also have student judges, which is we've always had. Our student judges used to be juniors and seniors in high school, but because the governor's order has said there will be no school, it is declared a holiday, we now can have individuals who, and I have taken some of the requirements and pushed them aside for this election. There was a grade point average, and I said, "Well, we don't need a grade point average. They're not missing school." So if we have a young gentleman or lady who would like to go ahead and be an election judge, they just have to basically be able to come to us at 5 a.m. in the morning and work hard, but they also have to take the training and pass the assessment test as well. But again, there is no grade point. They don't need a principal signature. They do need a parent signature. And we're excited to have our young people be part of our election community.
What about the pay for the judges?
Oh, we are going to give our judges a bonus this year. We feel that our judges deserve a bonus on the pure fact that they are working in a pandemic, and we feel like that's important and we recognize that. So we haven't completely settled on what bonus it will be, but we know that we are planning to give our judges a bit more money than their regular pay that we give judges at this time.
What about uh, voter turnout? Um, do you expect a large voter turnout than the previous presidential election?
We expect a great turnout, but if we have 150,000 individuals actually vote by mail, I would believe that the turn and we have a large population that goes to early voting. I believe that possibly the turnout on the day of elections might be a little bit less. And also, here's the other thing that I want to let people know that if you get a vote by mail ballot and you decide to change your mind and you say, you know what, I want to go to early voting, or I actually, it's been tradition for me to vote on the day, go ahead. But here's the key: bring your vote by mail ballot with you. It makes it an easier process. And if you go on the day of, go to your community home precinct. Go to the precinct and the home voting site that you tend to go to all the time. Otherwise, you may have to do a provisional, and which is fine. A provisional ballot is just a ballot we hold on until we make sure that no other ballot has been cast with your name, and then we will go ahead and cast your ballot.
What can be, go
Yes,
ahead, I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, sir.
I'm sorry. No, I just wonder what can be done to increase voter registration?
Voter registration, I actually looked at the numbers the other day and I was very pleasantly pleased that, we're close to 70, a little bit over 70%
Hmm.
of the registered voters, 68% or something, are registered. And I think that's a very healthy number. But you can also grace register if you choose. And if you'd like to, you can always call our number to find out where you will need to go to your site to do this. Or you can come always to the county office to do that. So it's important if you do want to register that day, you still have that opportunity, but you will need to go to the site that can help you the best on that day.
Um, have you considered having more registration sites, or do you feel that you have sufficient registration sites?
You can register at any of our early voting sites. So if you wanted to register, you could go to the early voting site, and there is a way that people will help you register. And I believe up till, I'm sorry, I should know this, but I believe the next week, I think early October, registration ends. So you can register online for the next at least a week and a half, and you can go ahead and do that.
Mhm, mhm. Uh, what piqued your interest in politics, in the beginning? You mentioned you were your profession is a teaching, but what jarred your interest in politics?
Well, I would like to say that this particular job is a job where I wear the hat of an administrator and I wear the hat of service for all. So it's been an interesting ride because I really, to be honest, don't place politics in my particular position. I need to be impartial because I have to serve everyone within this county.
Hmm. And there's a lot of strategic planning, I guess, done by your office.
Yes, we have a lot of strategic planning. We're very forward, progressive thinking in the idea of what can serve our our citizens, our voters best.
Hmm.
And just for an example, in this election, we are adding a couple new machinery, like high-speed counters. We're adding a new system, a new scanner system for when judges will be comparing and verifying signatures. If we have 150,000 vote by mail ballots coming in, we will need a more efficient and maybe faster way to go ahead and look at those signatures of the voters for the ballots and compare them to our signatures that are within our system. So we're purchasing some new state-of-the-art systems for this election.
We've come from a long ways from the pen and paper to computers now, too, right?
Yeah, we've come a long way, but we still believe in the paper ballot. We believe that that is very important. But there are many new ways of how elections can be run more efficient And we're looking at those. But again, the standards of safety and security are pillars. Those are pillars that we will never, ever compromise.
Mhm. I didn't mention the number of employees and the type of budget that you have to run in your office.
We have approximately 34 individuals in our office. And what's really exciting about our office is that even if you work in the vitals or you work in the tax department, on election day, all hands on, everyone's on deck, everyone helps. So we are cross trained. So during certain times in vitals, our staff will help over in vitals. Wedding season has always been a big one. And so the election officials will help in vitals and help them there. So I would say what's the beauty of us is that I look at our office not as an office. I call them team clerk, and we support each other and we have each other's backs and we're cross trained. And I guess most important, all of us are really extremely dedicated to serve. And that is very true. We are very friendly. If you call us, you're going to get a human voice, at least most of the time. We try, and we're just dedicated to service. We're just a really great bunch of people.
You mentioned you're the official record keeper for Lake County, and
Yeah.
you mentioned the records that you keep: the death notices, birth certificates, marriage license, um, tax redemption. You even you didn't mention this, but you're the clerk for Lake County board meetings too, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, I did not mention that. Yes, I basically, I'm the one who takes the minutes and I call the roll. And I will tell you, because all of our board meetings are on Zoom. So the last time I had to do a roll call, I think I called 25 or 27 times. 27 times I had to call the roll because it's hard to hear, when they do a voice approval. So they have me actually do a roll call for every single vote. So, in other words, if you listen to me online, you're going to hear me a lot.
With all of the changes and so forth that you made in your office, why do you think there's such a low voter turnout in Lake County? But I guess maybe it's not just Lake County, it's maybe nationwide, I guess.
Well, I do think that we are getting good results for individuals here. I mean, I know I was looking at the turnouts, which is over 400,000 easily, and we have about 700,000 registered voters. So that is more than
Mm.
half. And I believe that is doing nothing but increasing. And my feelings are usually with big elections like a presidential election, it's so visible on TV and media that people are aware and become interested in issues. Where I often will say to people, don't forget the smaller elections, because those are elections where you are voting for people who are really invested and working for your community. So I hope eventually that the numbers will increase in the odd years for elections because I think that's really important for our community.
What are the advantages of early voting?
I think early voting, the advantages of it is that you can, um, I feel like a lot of times, especially with it being election day being on a Tuesday, although now with it being a holiday, that may change. But if you're working and you can't necessarily get off, and although some employers are obligated a lot of times to let you off, but voting with your family on a Saturday or a Sunday or in the evening, or however you make that work, I think is important. And some people just like the culture of early voting because it is within their townships and a lot of people are just comfortable. I think it's really, when it boils down to it, I think it's each individual's comfort level and their choice.
Well, Robin, what is your ultimate goal?
What is my ultimate goal? You're asking me these tough questions today. Okay, I have my short range goal is
Okay.
that I want to, at the end of the day of election day, look to our staff and say, we did it. Because we
Mm.
have put together things in like 3 or 4 short months during a time where my staff wasn't always there in the office. They were working remote. I had to outfit them and make sure that everyone was safe. Uh, I also have to make sure that we stay safe. You know, we
Mhm,
can't
mhm,
lose anybody in our staff to this illness. I mean, we don't want to lose them anyways, but it's so important that we are safe and we take care of each other. And so, if we at the end of the election and we have had no major conflicts and
mhm.
people are content and the COVID-19 did not surge like it did the last time, I think we'll be dancing in the office. We'll be dancing in the office because our goal is to serve, serve, serve. And we just want to turn around and high five each other and say, we did it to the best we can, and everything worked.
I like the way your mission is serving, and you don't think about politics. I mean, it's
No,
you're a
no.
servant of the people, right?
No, we serve, like I said to every time I say, we serve everyone here. Everyone here we serve, and we are proud to give them the three choices to vote. We're proud to help them in any way. That's what a good clerk and a clerk team does.
Mhm. You do outstanding things, and but this time of year is exceedingly exciting uh, because the election does not end election night, right? How long after?
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. So I'm just looking. It will be on November 17th. Will be the last date. That's so our elections, and you can see them when you look at our results. It will say unofficial results, and on the 17th, at the end of the day, it will say official. And people ask, do you think there will be big changes? A lot of
Mhm.
people are saying it's not the election day, it's the election week, the week after. And I will say vote by mail ballots, which have to be postmarked. And we will be picking them up from those external sites on November 3rd, for example. But we're not processing. The ballots we pick up from our vote by mail boxes on November 3rd will not be processed. And the are just not going to be processed because everybody will be out managing sites, and all of our judges will be out at sites. So those election ballots that we'll be getting on November 3rd will be processed the next day. So will that change some results for some of the individuals? It may. It may. It, we have ballots that are coming from across the country. We have what we call snowbirds. That's a list of individuals who are sent vote by mail ballots, and there are individuals who go warm, and then they send their ballots from Florida or wherever they're sitting in the sun. And then we have students who are on a program, and so those ballots will come in from their universities. And we have permanent lists from other individuals. And again, so when all of those ballots are finally in, and if there is an issue with a vote by mail ballot, that's another false saying that we see in media. Like if your signature doesn't match, we throw away your ballot.
Hmm.
Why would we do that? I mean, I'm not going to do. Well, nobody's going to do that here. We are too dedicated, and it's first of all, it's the law that we don't. But beside that, our goal is to reach out and say, you have an issue with this ballot. Let us help you fix it and correct it so your ballot can be cast. I mean, our goal is not to throw away ballots. Our goal is to help people cast their ballot. That's our
Ladies and gentlemen, we've been very fortunate to have an educational and inspirational person here with us today, Robin M. O'Connor,
right.
Lake County Clerk. And Robin, this program would not have been possible without the coordination of Karen Brush.
Oh,
She's
oh yes, start with Karen. Yes.
yeah, so I want to thank her very
Oh yeah.
much for
She's
putting
a
this
sweetheart.
program together.
So before we leave, can I play our song as we leave? We have a county song now.
How long is it? We have 30 seconds.
Okay, can I play it?
Okay, well,
You can just fade me away.
okay.
Fade me away. All right, high five me.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. I think you'll like this. Hey, Lake County. You gotta dance with me. You can't choose to vote early. Hey, Lake County. You
Okay, thank you very much.